When they are consuming your minds and your thoughts and your dreams, from the angels to the demons and to the mysteries unseen, there is no need to worry. There is no need for dread. It's just time to discuss the thing at the foot of the bed.
Evening, and if you're just tuning in live, you're listening to UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network on 105.3 FM out of Mississippi and 107.7 FM out of the beautiful city of New Orleans, Louisiana. And this is the thing at the foot of the bed. Give me 10 seconds, guys. If you're familiar with this show or my second show, The Angel Rock, I got to do this after we go live to be live on TikTok. There we go. Anyways, hi, I'm one of your hosts. My co-host, David, to the right of me. I hand him over to part of it and I get the housekeeping out of the way. My name's Lorilei Potvin. I'm a Canadian psychic medium, crystal Reiki energy healer, Akashic Records practitioner, spiritual teacher, and mentor. I'm a registered nurse. I am also a budding animal communicator. I am well-versed in near-death experiences, having studied them for over 40 years professionally and personally, as well as having one as a toddler, and extremely well-versed in the paranormal. I always say didn't go looking for it, it found me. And we shared our story on the Travel Channel's Paranormal Survivor. It's season 4, episode 9, and I didn't name it, they did. It's called Demonic Hauntings. And you can find that on YouTube. Well, you can find it anywhere, on Netflix and everywhere, but you can find it on YouTube. What else I want to tell you? So I do have a second show on the network. Like I mentioned briefly, it's The Angel Rock, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Mondays here as well. And then Dave and I, and we didn't even mention this before we went live to one another, we are finally with you live. So we're celebrating, Dave. I didn't say it, but I know you're going to agree with me. This is our 2nd year anniversary.
That's right. Yeah.
It should have been January 4th. So thank you for your patience with that. If you like what you see, please like, share, and subscribe, and tell all your friends and family all about us in this network. It does broadcast to every country in the world. It's been around for 25 plus years, but 80% of our audience is listener only. So I always say, if you can't see us, you can't join the fun and the conversation. We've got a great chat going on. I see Karen Rose from Washington, Mort Alley, and Connie Martins is here as well. And we do both this show and the Angel Rock are very audience participative. We love to make you part of the show, comments, questions, and that's what makes this show in particular so much fun. But like I said, there is something for everybody on this network is what I was going to say. We're up to about 40 hosts live on the network. We stream multiple shows daily live, and when we're not streaming live, the archive server kicks in and picks shows from the last 25 plus years. So you really do get to have a wide berth of information and shows, and they're not all just UFO and paranormal. There's some pretty cool hosts on this network with the show, so please check it out. What else do I want to tell you? One last thing. If you want to watch us on TV, the network does have a TV channel. It's on Roku. So you go to the Roku page or app, you're going to go to the search engine and type in UFO space P as in paranormal. There's a drop down list and you're looking for about the 3rd or 4th one down, and it'll say UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio. I know one thing I forgot, Dave. If you want to watch us, there's numerous pages. Dave shifted a few things he's doing, and just with the way that StreamYard and these platforms are playing. So very quickly, I'll name them, and then David will share with you where he's streaming. We are streaming to my Facebook profile, which is Lorilei Potvin. It's public. Don't have to be a friend. You guys can watch and comment there. I am on LinkedIn tonight on my profile under The Angel Rock. My YouTube channel, The Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin. We are on the networks. Twitch channel, which is UFO Paranormal United Public Radio, as well as the YouTube channel for a network. We are streaming to Instagram. Last week, for the first time, they did it. and they let me know they cut it off after an hour. So if you were over on Instagram, you may want to go to one of the other platforms. I see the original Carrie Lynn Shellhorn is there. Thanks for joining, Carrie Lynn. Carrie Lynn is one of our amazing hosts on the network, and she has Spirit Switchboard from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. She's got an incredible show. She is also, unless that's changed, but I believe it hasn't, she's going to be on Father Sean Whittington's show just before her own show tomorrow, Friday, at 5 p.m. Eastern. So please check it out. I think I know I got caught. See, I'm all over the place here. Lastly, so it may cut off on Instagram after an hour. They don't put your comments in here as well. So I got to juggle between here as well as TikTok, because I'm streaming to the Angel Rock on TikTok. I want to give Michelle Wilfong a huge shout out. She's usually here, and she's my mod over there. And she is incredible. She does a fantastic job. I want to thank her for that. She has an incredible TikTok channel of her own. She lives in a haunted apartment, so please check it out. Let's see, where else are we, Dave, tonight? I think that's it. Oh, your guys. Okay, Dave, take it away.
Yeah. Hey, you guys. All right, you told them who you are and what you do.
I did, yes. Okay. I have a checklist now. I don't need it, but tonight I'm still sick and I'm a little discombobulated. So
I know. I get a little forgetful too. We had a couple weeks off, so we're back. So just if you want to watch me where we are now, I'm having a little glitchy time on some of the other social medias, but I am in my group, in my YouTube channel, The Spirit Experience on YouTube. You can see us there. And actually, if you are looking for shows and you can't find them on Lorilei's end or anything, you can also go in. You can watch. I think we've kept almost every one of our live shows in the last 2 years, which are on my YouTube channel as well. And
mine too. Yep.
Well. Yeah, and yours as well. So whichever one you go to, it's okay. We don't mind. We share in all the fun. Also, thank you so much, everybody, for joining our group. The thing at the foot of the bed.
I could not believe the numbers I checked tonight, and we've been saying we were going to go live, guys, and we will. Same as Julie Jean Bassett. I'm sure she'll be here. Things have happened with Christmas, holidays, and everything else, but I will be going live with her.
Yeah, we will be going live. We have little things we're doing, and then we will. We promise you. So much. Thank you so much, you guys, and anybody who is just listening, who is listening to us now. You know that once in a while we do play videos during the podcast. Know that if you're just a listener, you can go over and join that group. And Lorilei is always kind enough to put them in there. Plus other people, you can post some of your stories. You can show some of your pictures if you want. You can just be there. It's a safe space just to have fun, learn about the paranormal, and kind of play in there. And it's the thing.
And ask questions.
Yeah, ask questions.
Show ideas.
And even if you are somebody who knows an answer, go ahead, because we all know in that group that everybody's just going to take whatever resonates with them. So it's not a big deal. It is the thing at the foot of the bed with Lorilei Potvin and David Hanzel. Tonight we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff, you guys. But Lorilei had said there's a bunch of stuff. I like the UFO thing you're talking about too. But I didn't know where you wanted to start, but we're also going to
start with the magic, but I'm going to go back to it a little bit. But I found something on UFO Declassified came up today. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
Did you hear that? Lorilei, did you watch the I didn't get to watch them all the way through, but they're really quite interesting. Dr. Stephen Greer just did 2 podcasts with a bunch of stuff going down. And
no, I haven't.
I've been
watching mindless stuff. I've watched Harry Potter 100 times, and I'll add this quickly.
Yeah.
I've seen it a million times. You guys know I'm addicted to resin. It's my thing. And so I try to follow my own medicine in the fact that when I suggested people to try and find a little bit of joy every day in things, I do that. And I love it. So what's come out, I love these little mini verse balls. I joke that people think I'm some weirdo in the toy department, but it is adults buying this and their theme. Like there was Hello Kitty. There's a baking thing. You can make your own makeup. Like there's all kinds of crazy stuff. Well, they've come out with honeydukes. Like all the little tiny molds for chocolate frogs and fizzing whiz-bees. So
if I was in Harry Potter, if Harry Potter was real, which in my mind it is.
He is real.
But I would, if I was on that train, I would be having all those jumping frogs and all the chocolate frogs and those candies that they had. I loved that theme. That was like one of my favorite ones. And I never watched.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
When the chocolate frog jumped out the window on the train and like turned over, those are my favorite. I wanted those candies so bad. I'm like, somebody make a chocolate freaking frog.
Okay, well, the boxes come with them, like the little tiny boxes, like the candy. I have honey dukes. It's Birdie Bot's every flavor beans, magic beans, and the same box in the store, like in the movie. They're all just little tiny miniature versions of them. So that's what I have been doing. And I was just going to add, sorry, I have a bit of a delay for anybody new. We're going to say hi in a few minutes. So sometimes it'll see like there's a break. Dave knows that, but just in case you see it or hear it and go like, what the heck? That's what's going on.
Yeah, so, but because we've had a couple people say something, it's like, we know there's a delay. So if you hear one of us do something, we know what's going on. We don't get mad.
But we forget to tell you. Yeah. So what it was like I said, I've been doing that, but I've always tried to watch Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the two of them. And for some reason, I always fell asleep trying to watch them. So I've watched the first one, finally got the whole story. Oh my God, if those beasts are real out of that movie, oh, would that be incredible? Like if we really did have a magical world. I call people muggles anyways, in the way of like, what's your muggle job when you work in this field?
Oh yeah, you know, it's funny. That is something that a lot of us do. I have a coffee cup that says "Not today, muggle effort." You know what I mean? It's really funny. It says "Muggle effort."
Mm-hmm. No, I love it. So I was reading some of the comments here. We're going to get to you guys in just a minute. No, and I love movies about magic, like the Impractical Magic. That story was incredible with Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock. And I mean, I could go on and on. Halloween's one of our favorite times of year here. And you know what? This post came. I thought I had sent it to you, Dave. Did I not? I got to grab it because it was a really good post. I know I have it. I just got to send it to myself here because I downloaded it. And it was about people are afraid, depending on how you've grown up and what they've heard about magic. And I think we're going to change your minds. But let's say hi to everybody first before we get into things. So we said hi to Karen Rose. Welcome from Washington. Mort Alley says hello. Connie Martin says hello, Lorilei and David. Jackie Lane, hello, everyone. Nicole Thomas Ryan says good evening. Michelle Plummer, good evening, Lorilei and David, and everyone else here tonight. Raven62, good evening from Kentucky. And Raven62 said no Birdie Bots beans, LOLs. I didn't make any vomit flavored or earwax. Okay. You'll know if you've read the books or you've watched the movies. I've done both. Rhonda Harris is here. She says, good evening. Hello, everyone. And I want to give her a big shout out. Rhonda is with the Riff Nation Network. Howie's usually here as well. They are both co-hosts on the Orion Effect, and David and I have been on there. And Rhonda is a good friend of mine and love her dearly. So I'm glad she popped in. Oh, wow. Connie Martin says, Practical Magic 2 is in the works. Now, it could be good, but I think the story was perfect the way it was. Didn't you, Dave?
I did. I saw some of it in the beginning. Yeah. You know, it's really funny, and I don't want to be a naysayer, but all of a sudden, all the part twos are really terrible.
That's what's bothering me or you see that they're taking scripts that were perfect. Like I know when they tried to change James Bond to a female. I did not have a problem in any way, shape, or form with having a female type James Bond, but make her Agent 99 or something, tell her story. Don't change it. Or Ghostbusters.
Okay, do you want to? Yeah, let's talk about Ghostbusters. I thought, listen, I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I liked the first Ghostbusters. It was fun. But the second Ghostbusters, I thought it was a blast. I really did. I mean, I think they went a little bit over the top, and I know.
But I wouldn't have had a problem with female Ghostbusters, but make them their own characters.
Yeah, they pretty much
tried to have the characters. I love the idea. It's just a matter of don't rewrite the story when it was perfect the way it is. Build off of it. Add more characters and build a storyline. That's right.
Yeah, or I think part two should be a continuation.
Yeah,
or
even
something.
that. But don't make them Spangler and other guys. Like, you know what? Make them somebody else. They deserve to have a role and part of the story in my mind. Same as, like I said, people really revolted about, I remember about James Bond. But the thing is, like, I don't care. Make her Jamie Bondetta or something if you want.
Yeah.
But tell her own story.
And James Bond had an illegitimate daughter, and now she's a spy.
Yeah, but she's a female version, but she is who she is. Celebrate her for who she is. That's where my problem is. So same as the one, oh my God, my mind just went blank. The Sanderson sisters from Halloween, they just came up.
Hocus Pocus.
Thank you. I don't know why that went out of my mind. But
I did not care for the new Hocus Pocus. I know people didn't hate me.
I didn't either.
You do not? Oh, okay, then I don't feel so bad. I love Bette Midler. I love all them, but I just thought, no. I like the first one.
The story was perfect the way it was. So we'll have to see. I'll have an open mind. I'm glad you let us know, Connie, about practical magic too. Like, for example, one of my favorite movies and Christmas movies is Love Actually. I've loved it from the first time I have seen it. And I know there was a lot of talk about doing a second one and they were planning on it. I don't think it's come to fruition and I'm glad it hasn't. It was a beautiful story the way it was, I thought.
Yeah, sometimes it's not that great. I would do though, if they could do it right. I would like to. I just watched Gremlins again today. We had.
I watch it every Christmas.
Yeah, we went over to pick. We took Molly for another haircut today. My mom's.
Did you?
Yeah, and I got there early because my dad wanted to use my car, and I was watching Gremlins, and I thought to myself today, I wonder what would happen if somebody made a remake of it. But then
that might be okay though, because the way that story ended,
you could do it. Yeah.
It was open-ended at the end, like what happened to the mom.
You know what else? You can have totally different characters. You can have a whole different situation because it wasn't about the situation in that movie. It was about the Gremlins.
And the way it ended, it was open-ended enough that you could build off that story. Petite Lion 1207 says, hello, everyone. Raven 62, Love Actually was great to me. Connie Martin says, my favorite Christmas movie. My mouth is not working tonight, guys. I watch it every Christmas. Howie, were your ears burning? I was just talking about you before you popped in. He says, Tips Top Hat. Hey guys, crazy night at work, but I'm glad I made it. We are too. Rhonda was in earlier, so we gave you guys a shout out already, but thank you for popping in.
Yeah, we shouted at you earlier. Did I see that? I didn't see this update. Did I see Amanda says we have 888 subscribers now. Holy cow.
Where?
We have 888 subscribers now.
Where?
I don't know. Emma, where? Where is the 88 subscribers?
I thought she was talking about herself.
Yeah, were you talking about yourself or were you talking about one of us? I'm like, wow.
Putting up our video. I thought I wasn't sure, so maybe I'm glad you read that, Dave. Maybe she can clarify for us what she was talking about. Sometimes this pops on the screen.
Lorilei and I get a touch of Alzheimer's once in a while.
I definitely have Alzheimer's over the last week and a half, guys. I'm sorry, but I do. Oh, Emma says you on YouTube, so maybe you, Dave.
Oh, I do. Oh, we'll change it. Yeah, I'm trying to get it up there. I got a lot more people. I'm going to also be. I'm have another adventure too on Bookstack or Stackbook. Oh my God, why can't I remember what it's called?
Mm-hmm. I forgot to put it back.
And Substack. On Substack. It's more
Substack. Yeah, I have a Substack too. I don't write on
it's a literary page, and I started doing writings, and I started putting my writing. Hi, sweetie. I started doing my writings in there, and I'm also, they're actually allowing a way for us to stream our stuff onto Substack now because they've changed a bunch of policies all of a sudden. So I'm really excited about it.
Well, I'll have to look into it because it is not easy to stream to TikTok. Monday night, unfortunately, with the timing, it didn't work properly. I tested it all day today. That's why we're live back on TikTok. There was nothing wrong. It was just a little hiccup. Oh, we've got some people on TikTok actually adding. We've got JanMan3. Oh, Jennifer M on YouTube, by the way. Hey, nice to see you on TikTok. And she says, Witches was a good movie too. Well, we're glad you're over there. I will pop back and forth so you know, Jennifer. It's just the chat doesn't show up with the rest. So I got to go between Instagram, TikTok, and then the regular chat. But if David says Substack that we can stream on there, I may very well try and do that for us.
They're going to add that. Emma says, what's the spiritual meaning of 8? It's the balance between the material and the spiritual world. 8 on its own. On its own. Once you start adding 8s to it, it changes.
Plus 8 is the infinity symbol as well.
The infinity symbol, yeah. There's a lot. 8's got a lot going on. 8's got a lot.
Well, there's a difference, though, between the meaning of 8 and then numerology. When you're looking at, you said your soul number is an 8. We all have a number for our soul number. That is not my expertise. I mean, I could look it up for you, but I will suggest someone you could watch that will help you. I mentioned the Sean Atwood channel many times, and there's somebody by the name of Beverly Rhodes on there.
You can go into Chat GP, anything, and just put Soul Path 8.
Well, I'm just going to finish this idea too, Dave. She does a spiritual type show on there. Okay. It's at least a couple times a week, but she has Danny Henderson on there. And I know at least once or twice a week, all they do is take questions from the audience, like psychic mediumship type questions, but people have been sort of conditioned to give your full name, your birth date, the year you were born. Danny will then figure out your soul number, like you shared, an 8, and she will give you quite a bit of information about what's involved with the life path and what with the soul number that you have. So I hope that might help.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Yeah, I think those are interesting. The soul numbers, it's pretty cool.
Numerology is different, just like gematria is different, just like then you get into sacred geometry, and like, you know, you got to think about really numbers kind of don't lie, for one thing. Plus, on top of it, I remember the first time somebody said this to me, well, 1111 is an evil number. And I went, what? Like, I have loved that number. It's a sign for me. I was having this conversation with someone earlier in the week, and I realized it's all about perspective. When I looked it up, indeed, with her perspective being it was evil, you can definitely find information, same as the number 666, has an evil connotation in what your belief system is in it, but it can also be a very good number. Does that make sense? Like it's about perception, I think.
Lisa, you're not getting any sound.
Oh, who's not getting any sound? Oh, Lisa, you might want to try restarting, closing the page, or you can certainly pop over to YouTube. If you need me to send you the link, I'll send you the link. I know Lisa well, so I can certainly send it to you if you want. You might, because I don't think anybody else is having that problem. So Amana says I get the number 3 a lot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can also look up angel, like David is absolutely right. You can go to Chat GPT. You can look up angel numbers and whatever. Right? There's many interpretations for numbers, but numbers are all over the world. And you get into Fibonacci numbers, sequences, go on and on and on. So
you had a dream about somebody. Oh, Karen Rose. She had a dream last night about finding a little zipper bag full of Monopoly money. Dreams. Me and Lorilei have had the same thing. Dreams are very personal. It's whatever you really feel. There are different symbols behind different things, but sometimes like that symbol for me is like playfulness and escapism. It also does signify a wanting for wealth, and actually not a wanting, but that you like it. So if you're somebody who's trying to manifest wealth, I'm going to say, let it be then. Don't wonder about it. Just already kind of tell yourself, yeah, I have this coming. This is cool. And that's all you got to really do. But like we'll always tell you, it's whatever you felt the meaning was is most likely what it's going to be.
Plus, you're the one that experienced it. There's many different types of dreams. And so when you pick up, for example, a book on crystals, or a book on the meaning of numbers, or a book on the meaning of dreams, you will not find a book that is identical. And I believe the reason is, first of all, I believe that many people have channeled a lot of that information, including what they've had in their own personal experiences to share with people But I truly believe, especially when it comes to dreams, and David and I always suggest, I have bunches here of books. Keep a notebook by your bedside if it resonates, and a pen and paper before your feet hit the ground in the morning, because I usually forget 90% of what I dream by the time I've literally put my slippers on in the morning. But if you can, you don't have to write a novel. Just jot down a few thoughts about what the dream was about. Don't try and figure it out, because I guarantee you, if you keep good notes and you go back, you're going to figure it out. There's going to be
I always tell people, do it for like 2 weeks and then go read it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you'll amaze yourself. You'll be like, wow, why does this stuff all fit? How weird.
Mm-hmm. So, and having you guys know, I know I've noticed that anyways, like way back in the day, you'd ask people like, why am I always having, say, a repetitive dream or this and this in a dream? And every time I always got a different answer, and it never resonated till I figured it out for myself, because you're the one that's experiencing it. You're the one that's having it. It's about your life. It could be you're tapping into universal consciousness. Sometimes they're predictive dreams. Sometimes they're just junk dreams. I was just going to add, Dave, everything that we go through in a daytime is all stored up here. So at nighttime, sometimes it's like your brain goes through it and says, yep, we need this. We need this. No, we don't need that. We don't need that. And sometimes it's just a dream. A dream is a dream.
Exactly. I call that release dream. So that's just my symbol for it. I call it release dreams, where it's like, it's all messed up. Like you're riding in the back of a clown in a Toyota on your way to, buy fishing rods. It's like, what the hell does this mean? Probably nothing. Might just be fun. You got to look at it.
I had a lady on the Angel Rock. She has a very unusual name. Her first name is Dulcie, and I'm trying to remember her last name. It was about 1.5 years ago. It's on my YouTube if you go under the live tab. And she is what is called a dream specialist over in the UK. She's been on all kinds of TV shows and stuff, and she'd written a book. And I'm sharing with you a lot of the stuff that she had shared with me. So she doesn't tell people what their dreams are about. She tells you better how for you to be able to understand what a dream makes and how to or what a dream means and how to interpret it.
Yeah, I believe each symbol in a dream has, like, if you said, I keep seeing the water in a dream, there's going to be a meaning there's going to be a psychological meaning, there's going to be a spiritual meaning, and there might be a materialistic meaning. So that everything, like we say, I'm going to stick with what we always say, Lorilei and I, you can go look up to see what symbols are and see if they resonate with you. But if just because it says the meaning for you, but you don't feel it, well, then it's not right.
Plus, the other thing is water means something completely different to me than it does to you, than it does to someone else, right? So, yes, there's a universal meaning where, depending on where you look, where I say at least 80% water, we need water to live. But for example, having some interesting conversations with people this week that, it was, how do you connect with spirit? And for one of my closest friends, she is so touched by music and by lyrics and what have you. Yeah. And she'll share it with me, and I'm happy for her because I can see her practically glowing. But that's not my thing. My thing is, for example, at night when it's quiet, I'm creating. I love to be creative. It keeps I hate the word monkey mind, but the thing that we think runs the whole show, and it does in our brain, is busy working on that. That's when I connect with spirit. That's when I connect to the other side. That's when I do my meditation and things like that. And I think the best part of a mentor, because we've been talking about this, the course I'm going to be teaching is still coming. Leanne Clark is going to be joining me. You will love her. She's been on the show before. But we're going to put it back just a wee bit with the way things have gone over the last few weeks, but it's coming. We're hoping maybe April. But one of the things we were talking about, and I believe this as a teacher or mentor, that our job is, David, myself, Leanne, people that do that kind of stuff, is to help somebody discover what their thing is, to make that connection to spirit.
And that's a good point. And you know what else too? Not just that, but a lot of people ask, what does your guide say about this? What does your guide? You know what your guides are actually there for? To point you back to yourself. That's what they're just, that's what we do. That's why some people will call us spiritual guides. I always tell people, I don't heal anybody. I just get them to heal them. We get them to heal themselves.
I call myself the male person. I don't do anything. I just help you because you've made the decision for whatever reason, whatever type of healing you need.
Permission. Yeah.
You're doing the work. I'm just helping you make that connection in a different way than, say, a traditional, maybe physical type of healing. It's not me at all. Mm-mm. Should we say hi? We've got Emma was talking about threes. Hang on, I'm going to back up. Oh, Mish, over in the future over there. It's Friday morning. It says, good day.
Mish.
Yeah, Michelle Wilfong, were your ears burning? I was talking about you at the beginning of the show, very nicely, of course. Sherry Burris, hello, she says. Did I miss any? Oh, I missed a few other people. Okay, so Thomas Ryan says, I dream about houses a lot. Realized they represented my fears.
Oh, that's interesting.
Nicole.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Houses for me always represent my inner self.
Mm-hmm. But that's what I'm saying.
That's what we mean. So that's what we're trying to say, Nicole. Mm-hmm. That's what you discovered. And that gives you something to springboard off of now when you have dreams about houses. That's your symbol.
And you know what it means. And you may see more of it now that you've made that connection. Because I also believe our guides are here not to tell us what to do, not anything like that, but to support us in life. And then when we maybe get off of the way that we had planned for what we were here for, they're not ever going to tell us what to do, but they may gently sort of nudge us. But once you make that connection, like Nicole shared about the houses, and depending, like you said, at your fears, you may see more of that. And it may be a sign to look a little deeper, examine it a little further. What does this mean about my fears, right? For example?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's all different. Do you guys know that if you guys aren't mediums, in mediumship, we get a lot of symbols. Some symbols I've decided myself, and some symbols they decided. So it's funny how symbols work. Because if you look at it, when we talk, when we speak, like if I were to say the word Christmas, if I say just that one word Christmas, you think of all the thoughts that can come in with the word Christmas. That could be singing, snow, religion, this, that, the other thing. One word means a whole lot of things. So that's why the symbols are so important.
Mm-hmm. But it's different for everybody. So Sherry says, hang on, what did she say? I think Michelle sent a bunch of emojis, it looks like, on here. Sherry Burry said, hope everyone's doing well. I think it's Karen Rose said, thank you. Howie said, hello, everybody. He says, for some reason, he can't be on Facebook. That's okay. Justin Sane, I love your name, says, hi, welcome.
Oh, you know what? I just now got that.
I got it right away. So I'll tell you after the show about my son with his name Justin, what my ex-husband, well, I can tell you, guess now I said it. My ex-husband, when my son was born, wanted to name him Justin Case. And I said, over my dead body.
You want to hear something really funny? When I was I think it was in 6th or 7th grade, I used to sit and draw pictures of bands because I was a musician then. And my band, I used to have, mine was Just in Time.
Oh, was it? Okay. Well, welcome, Justin Sane. He said, first time here. We're glad you're here and we hope you'll come back. Now, we do have this video uploaded that I see person joined over. It just says person on TikTok. So welcome. So we have this video because we've never really talked about this. So I shared it with Dave today and he went, yeah, this is a good topic. And he says he's done a little bit more research before we went live. So I'm going to play it for you. It's not that long, eh, Dave? I think it's only about a minute and a half.
Like a minute and a half, yeah.
Okay. And it's about, and to preface it, we started and then we got off on a different topic there for a minute. People, depending on the way you've been raised, religious beliefs, what you've heard through people before you, and we're not giving you saying, yes, witchcraft is great, it's wonderful, it's anything. What we're giving you is a different perspective that you may not realize that you have been using a lot of magic yourself in your life and not even realize. Do you want to add anything, Dave?
Nope, that's exactly right. Yeah, we don't care what you believe. It's all up to you. This is your world, your adventure. It's all cool.
But it's an interesting perspective that you might not have thought of before. So here we go. I'm going to play it for you. Hopefully it's big enough and you can hear it.
People give a fuck about their birthday.
Happy birthday is witchcraft. Touch wood is an ancient magic ritual to summon the tree spirits. Turning the lights off and chanting happy birthday while blowing out candles and making a wish is a form of magic rituals. Black mirrors we use to contact spirits, and we use them every single day. They were called scrying mirrors. Scry became screen. When you are praying, you are trying to cast a spell to change reality with your words. The word abracadabra translates to I will create with my words. This is why we call it spelling. It's a spell. Birthday rituals are making you age quicker. When we say how old are you, we are tricking our subconscious mind that we are old. When you jinx something, this is a jinn, which is an invisible creature within the astral planes.
Now that was just a short little video. Give me a minute, guys. I'm going to cut it off here. But that's not even touching the tip of the iceberg. So, Dave, do you want to share some of the things, and I'll join in with you as you're talking?
Yeah. So we got. So I kind of looked up and the ones that kind of I was familiar with that I've done in a little background of each of 20 everyday actions that have their roots in like pagan and witchcraft and all that other stuff. It's the mundane is the magical, my friends. You know, it really is. You'd never realize it. But we'll start with one thing he said is blowing out the candles. So blowing out candles stems from, it's actually an ancient Greek ritual. So they were lit on cakes to honor Artemis, the goddess of the moon, which is really cool, I think. Blowing out the candles with a wish sends your intention into the universe, making it a modern day spell. And that's true. We make wishes all the time.
Yeah.
I kind of think that, what do you guys think of Aleister Crowley and his magic spells?
I was going to save that to after you read your list.
Yeah, we'll do that in a minute. But yeah, no, that's interesting, Justin.
I'm interested in talking about that. That's a good question.
So wishes are a cool thing. I mean, we do wishes all the time. I always tell people when you make a wish, I'm like, that's magic. You know, everything is, and it's real, and it's not magic with the C. There's a difference between magic with the C and magic with a K. Magic with a K is actually that old world magic. It's that real magic. It's not a miracle. It's the alchemy. It's mixing plant medicines together for people to heal. That's magic.
I put Howie's comment up because I think it's important. He said, yes, magic is energy. Energy is magic. Word is magic. It takes energy to create word. We are magic. Wink, wink. And how many times have you heard me and Dave too, but even on the Angel Rock say, everything is energy, vibration, and frequency. And some of the most powerful forms of energy, which can neither be created nor destroyed, but transferred from one place to another and on this plane, are your thoughts, your words, and your emotions. Those are some of the most powerful forms. So that's why we're talking. We never talked about this tonight. Yeah. So just in case, we're going to read your question because it's a good one. But I want
2 seconds before you go about magic too. I have to tell you this is years ago now, years and years ago. When I was hearing voices and all that stuff, not bad voices, like good voices and hearing stuff around, and it was my guides. I knew there was like the same energy that was around here. And I kept asking, who are you? What are you? What is this? And I was always asking that question. And it wasn't long after that, a song started playing repeatedly on the radio. I mean, I was hearing it 3, 4, 5 times a day. You know what song it was? By Olivia Newton-John.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew instantly.
that song is literally a guide speaking to you. That's what that song is.
Yeah.
So,
well, one thing.
Go ahead. If you ever know why you have guides, that's why.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to say, Nicole said in witchcraft, we talk about the moon goddess and the sun goddess, but I think it's important because when I work with people and I teach them, I'm very stern with them about when you are getting into magic, and some people have a beautiful natural aptitude for it, and you're going to understand why when Dave finishes the list, but there are rules of it. And one of it is what you send out can sometimes come back 3 to 10 times depending on your belief system. And I do know, I don't practice dark magic, but the research I have done, there's usually a pretty steep price to pay if you're going to use magic against somebody else. So you have to be responsible, have a good mentor, have somebody that knows what they're doing to show you. But go ahead, Dave, please finish your list.
I'm going to tell you, even witches know, and this is, everybody knows, what you put out comes back to you threefold. So that's why when people go, oh, they're
Some
cursing.
people I have seen 10, depending on how powerful they are and what their intention is.
Yep, exactly. It will come back to you eventually. Knocking on wood. I love that because this is one that I knew I learned a lot.
I always do it here.
Yeah, I love knocking on wood comes from people. Well, they always when you read it, it'll say people used to believe that the elementals lived in the trees, and it's not a belief. I mean, it's for some people it's a knowing, but yeah, that's how you would knock on wood to wake them up when you are looking for protection or anything. So that's what that came. Wishing on a star, you guys. That's rooted in celestial magic. That draws on, let's see what this one says. On the first star you see draws the idea that stars are divine and messengers are powerful.
Or what about a falling star, right?
Falling star, yep, same thing. You're putting the intention on it. Tossing coins into a fountain. Okay, let me see. I didn't read about this. Ancient Romans and Celts offered coins to water deities. Ooh, in exchange for blessings. I did not know that. Today, tossing a coin with a wish is a direct connotation at a magical practice. So we're asking
the water deities.
Water deities for something. I love that. I wonder if now that you know that, if that intention was there, does it make it stronger?
I don't know, depending on your belief.
Okay, lighting candles for ambiance. In witchcraft, lighting candles sets intentions. And see, that's true because
the color too on top of it.
I've got boxes of colored candles. Each one of them has a different meaning to it. Plus the candles too. There's a release spell you can do. I don't know exactly how it goes, but you take 2 candles and you tie a string between the 2 of them and you light them. When it gets down and the string breaks, the bond is gone. So, and you let it, I can't remember how many days. There's a whole ritual that goes behind it. Oh, blowing dandelions.
What you perceive becomes what you believe, and it becomes your reality. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's whatever your intention is, that's what's going to happen. They're permission slips, as a lot of people would say. Blowing dandelion seeds. Blowing dandelions while making a wish mimics the magical practices of releasing intention into the wind, which in shamanism, there's something that I do. I'm sure if Julie Jean Bassett, she probably does it too, you can write down, like it could be a bay leaf or something, but what I do is I write down on a piece of paper something I need to go away or something I'm wishing for or something, and I burn it in the tinfoil, and then once it's burned in ashes, I go outside and blow it into the wind. And then there's a whole thing with directions and all that. Tossing salt over your shoulder.
Everybody does it. Drop salt and you're supposed to throw it over your left shoulder.
Is it left shoulder?
Well, that's what I was. It could be another shoulder, but I was always taught left shoulder. So
you're correct. You're correct. And it says salt is sacred. Tossing it over the left shoulder wards off evil spirits, bad luck. And if you get it in their eyes, you can make a getaway because they can't see you. So that works out really good. Naming objects. Oh, this is interesting. Like your car.
My car is named. My car is on its last legs. My son named it Harry when I bought it for him when he was 16. He's going to be 30. And my poor little car, we're going to be buying a new one soon. And I tell him every day, Harry, I love you. I picture you happy, whole, and healthy. And we are going to get where we need to go. I do. I really do. And ask the angels always to watch over me and the people around me so that we are all safe where we're going.
I had a plant for the longest that I named Robert. And people would always come over. Why is there a plant named Robert? I'm like, Robert Plant. But I mean,
everybody, we got such great comments. I can't wait. We're gonna do the question after Dave. We're gonna read these.
We're gonna stop for a minute because I skipped a couple. Let's go with some of the comments here.
Okay, so I want to do that question by Justin, though. We will get to it, Justin. So let's see. Let's go back a bit. Everybody's saying totally agree. Nicole says we talk about the moon goddess and the sun goddess and witchcraft. Now, there is an old religion we could get into. We won't tonight about Saturnalia and worship of the sun and back in history, right? This is why when this video came up in my feed today, I sent it to Dave. I thought, we have not talked about magic yet. And it was a good time to talk about it. Still the beginning of the year, right? And it's a great time to think about the magic before you and what you want to manifest and create in this following year. So Sherry Burr says, totally agree. Howie says, Queen, it's kind of magic. He's talking probably about a song you were going to say. He thought maybe you were going to say instead of Olivia Newton-John, Dave.
Oh, which one did he say?
He said, Queen, it's a kind of magic, is what he said.
No, but that one.
I knew. I don't know why I knew. Well, I do know why, but psychic, right? But the thing is, I don't know everything, but I could hear it so loud and clear before you said it. Okay, Nicole Thomas Ryan says threefold law for her. And I have heard that as the norm, Nicole. I don't practice witchcraft. I don't have a problem with it or actively practice, but I have done a lot of research, as has Dave, including we have many friends that practice, so it's not a problem. Do you have to answer that, Dave? No? Okay. So Cody, this is funny. Cody D says, a ghost foot at the foot of my bed, yeeks. Howie said, so any form of intent, physical form like tossing a rock and seeing your tent. I was saying your intent, I think he meant to say out loud, wink, wink is a form of magic. I love this place. Nicole, color of the candle. Yes, yes. And I have even back in the day when Doreen Virtue hadn't turned to born again Christian and she was in this field. It was very, very rare, but I do still have it. She put out an angel spell candle box.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, anything. You can write your own spell too. It's all about the intent.
You very well can. And
intention and the belief.
David and I could probably do months of shows of all this stuff with the
stuff we know.
Mm-hmm. So Connie says, I actually saw a movie where they performed a spell to that effect. The movie is called A Dark Song. It must have been something we were referring to a little bit earlier. Now, this is interesting from Cody D. Do you want to read it, Dave?
Cody D. It's pronounced ambi dance, not ants. That's why it's called ants in the pants. Oh, ambi. Wait.
I know. At first, I'm going, what is this? And then I reread it, and I thought it was kind of interesting.
Ambi. What's ambi?
You'll have to explain it a little further, Cody, but definitely about ants in the pants and like little kids, right? Like I know with daycare, dance around like
not ants. Yeah, I don't understand what that means. I'm interested, Cody.
Oh, so Justin, we appreciate this. He said, really neat show. I'm a follower of XApp and recently switched to it on YouTube. Glad I came across these shows. This whole network has wonderful shows. And so does the Riff Nation Network with Howie O'Dell. So check him out because he's a big supporter of our network as well. I love this. This is what Kelly said. Yes, I was waiting for this one, meaning talking about magic. And then everybody's talking about their cars' names. So Cody says, my car's the same. Her name's Bernadette. Kelly says, my car is Bubba. And because of you, I asked him to open the door that wouldn't open. Now it works. Oh, I'm so happy for you.
Oh, two things. Cody, ambiance. I get what you mean.
Okay, now you get it. Okay, should I highlight it again and you can read it?
Yeah. And plus, Julie Jean Beth said, hi, sweetie. I was hoping you were here. We were talking about rituals, and one of them was a fire ritual and stuff. And I said the shamanism thing I did was I wrote it on the paper and put it, and I burned it and blew the ashes into one of the directions. Was one of the ones. And she said bay leaves, which bay leaves. Yeah. Do you know what? I'm going to swear by the bay leaf one. Have you done that one?
I have. I also know I have a client that one of my most regular clients, and she has an aptitude for magic. So I gave her the stern talking, which she took very well. She's an amazing lady, but she's having a really hard time at work. And she had found a spell that she calls garlicking someone. And it involves garlic. I forget what else is involved. And you put it in a little jar with your intent, not sending any malintent. You basically just want someone to leave you alone and freezing them out, putting it in the freezer. And it's worked for her. Mm-hmm.
I have done on bay leaves, taken a marker, and I wrote something that I was wishing for, like a one-word thing, like what I want to bring in. And then, because a lot of times when you want something, the best thing to do is to ask for it, and it's heard, and then to release it. when you release it,
don't try and figure it out. That's part of it.
Exactly. Yes,
And
exactly.
it's already yours, right? It's already yours, even though it's not in your hands. It's part of thinking that it is already yours.
So you can, if you think about it this way, guys, everything that there already is already here. Everything's now. So as soon as you say, I want it, or, you know, this is what's coming to me, you're aligning up with it. And like Lorilei said, and I said, just forget about it. Don't worry about how you get it.
Because when you get it, you wouldn't have figured out in a million ways how that happened. Just release it, that it's already there. I'm going to add, Kelly said her car is Baba. Nicole Thomas Ryan, I love the name of your car. She says, I named it the TARDIS. For those that don't know what that is.
Look at Cody.
Doctor Who.
Cody's is really cute. He did an Irish prayer to fix everything. He blessed the lamp in front of a furniture store for somebody. I love that.
Find it. How far down are we? Oh, here we go.
It's up there. I like that.
Okay.
Cody did a prayer, a fixing prayer, an Irish prayer in front of a furniture store. I love that. I think I don't see anything wrong with doing that.
Yeah, and because we all are magic. And regardless of what your belief system is, whomever you may believe your creator is or where you come from, even if you don't, but we have a piece of that. I've used the analogy so many times about the fact, and it's oversimplistic, but if we take source, for example, God, Allah, what the universe, what you can call it whatever you want, and I'll use source as the title. Yeah. Source has decided they are going to create the universe, create Earth. So they take a little piece from, and they're a big pile of Play-Doh, their figure, and they take a little piece and they create with that, right? It really oversimplifies in a way that we really are, even though we're separate, we're no different because we've all come from the same place, right?
Yeah. Like they say, we're cut from the same cloth.
Mm-hmm. So Julie says, we gave you a shout out, Julie, earlier, but I'm going to give you another one, you guys, if you're looking for an animal communicator. Julie is your lady. She has helped me out many times. She's whom I've taken my animal communication course. And I talked about you earlier, Julie. I said, we've had some things happen this month. This is our second anniversary year show tonight. And I had all plans to go live with Julie, and we still will be. So watch for that. Okay. It might be a little bit, but we will.
I want to hear it.
Well, just to get this last part, she's also an incredible shamanic practitioner, so please check her out. She's helped me dramatically. It's juliejeanbassett.com. Go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
No, yeah, she teaches animal communication, you guys, and it's not expensive. So if that's something you want to learn, go.
Yeah, she's phenomenal.
So I have a funny story. This is years ago. It was, I won't even give a whole backstory, but I was with somebody, and they were very, very Catholic, which is hilarious. And they played piano for the church and for the choir and directed it. I don't know. We were not getting along, and we got in an argument. And I don't know what it was. It was because of some of the spiritual practices. Because I was arguing about angels. That's what it was. I was arguing about angels because I see angels differently than they do. And we were just having an argument about it. And it opened up one of the pantry doors, and they had one of these plastic bottles with a cross on it, and it was holy water. And I said something about, so you think I'm evil? And I was like, so if I get this holy water on me, something's going to happen. And he's like, well, you never know what's going to happen. I unscrewed the top, and in front of them, I just went gurgle.
Did you start smoking? Did you light on fire?
No, I just lifted my hands and went like that. That was the end of the argument. But it was also the end of the relationship about 2 weeks later. It's a wonderful person, but
that's why we talked. I said, Dave, we haven't talked about magic. This won't be our last show talking about it. Yeah, and with that being said, Justin, Dave noticed your comment. Well, we noticed everyone's, but I can tell from our conversation, this is a really good question. And he's asking, what do you guys think of Aleister Crowley and his magic and spells and summoning with that 6-month summoning spell he did? Now, I'm going to go first quickly, and I know Dave's going to add stuff. I wasn't there. It's not my job to judge. And for Aleister Crowley, that was his path and where he was meant to follow. I think there were things learned about magic. I think there were things learned about energy, vibration, and frequency from him. Would it be the path that I would want to follow? No. So I don't have an opinion one way or another because I believe that that was why he was here. This was part of his mission. Feel free to jump in, Dave, if you've got more.
No, that is cool. I was kind of looking up a little 6-month spell because I'm in the same boat. I mean, I know of Aleister Crowley, and I get it. I totally get him. I don't feel he was an evil person. Some people chalk him up to being evil.
David, you were the first person, and I love I didn't mean to jump in, but your perspective on evil. We've had this conversation, if you would share it again, about perception again, right?
Yeah. Evil's in the eye of the beholder. It really is. Evil, everything starts out negative. Everything starts out neutral. And it's what you put on it makes it positive or negative. So if something helps if he did a spell that others thought was evil, but to another person that helped them on their journey in some way, to that person, it's not evil. It's okay. Mm-hmm. So I always say, as long as you're not literally harming a human being very badly or without their choice, or you are mind playing with them without their choice in the matter, I don't think that's a great thing. But as far as what he's done, I don't know a lot about it, but it seems
I know about it, and he dabbled in the very dark arts.
I know he did go really dark, but you know what? Somebody has to. You can't. We need the dark, or we can't see the light. It's kind of like the whole thing about
you can't have one. I just said this today, talking to someone.
You can't see the stars in the sky until it's night.
Yeah, you can't have one without the other in this earth plane or 3D existence. There is always an opposite to something. Otherwise, we wouldn't have balance. And I think that that's part of what the universe is constantly trying to help us to do, to move into balance. And you see it when you step back and take a look at the bigger picture. Would I do Aleister Crowley's spells? No. And I know you're new here, Justin, but I have had experiences with very, very, very dark entities, not by choice, did not call them in. I have worked with people that you would have, and depending on semantics, I would have called possessed. I have seen somebody levitate on camera and things they did that they would never do. I have seen a lot of very dark things. But for me to say that Aleister Crowley, and I know you're not saying this, I'm saying it myself, for me to say that Aleister Crowley was one of the most evil, darkest magic practitioners or
sorcerers. And it's all about perception. Like Cody D, and I'm not making fun of you, Cody, but Cody says there's definitely evil and evil spirits. It is because it's in your perception. Because we talk about this.
But we just said you can't have one without the other. Not everybody's running around thinking love and light. And if it's all energy, vibration, and frequency to me, and I don't know all the answers, but to me, this makes sense, that if your thoughts, your words, and your emotions are some of the most energy powerful forms, and we know about tulpas, we know about things like that. And I think it's about semantics, what we call it. But I believe it exists.
This is a create your own adventure thing. So,
and some people will experience it and some people won't. It's what maybe you've built into your plan before, or what you do with your life. Maybe you're not meant to have those experiences, right?
Like for me, I don't deny other people's experiences, but you know how many people I've had ask me, why don't you do a protection spell before you contact your guides? Why don't you do a protection spell before you do paranormal investigation? Because I don't need a protection spell because my protection is implied. But that doesn't mean it's wrong for somebody else to do that, because maybe that's their permission slip that they need to do that.
I like that.
So good.
I like what Julie Jean Bassett just said. It's all energy. Energy is neither good nor bad.
Exactly.
And I meant to say nor evil. It's all from our human subconscious. And what I just shared earlier for people that are new here, when Dave was talking earlier, and I jumped in and said, what you perceive becomes what you believe, and it becomes your reality. I didn't come up with that. That came from spirit. So we've talked
That's
about
where energy, attention goes, where energy flows. The
yes, but what I
original,
was going to add though, Dave, is we've talked about a lot of different things, including numbers and all kinds of things tonight. It's all about perception and experience, belief systems, and what you hang on to, right? What you've been taught, and maybe that's where you're meant to be. Unless you're not happy with the way things are going, then you're open to exploring both sides of the topic.
yeah, we have to know. My life was very, very dark early on, and then but I had to have that in order to see what I see now. It just happens the way it happens.
Okay, so Justin Sane just said that's exactly what Aleister Crowley was into. He said basically your thoughts make reality. But Aleister Crowley is not the only person who said that before.
Exactly. That's even from when I had my NDE in 2015. That's just the truth. It's just basically a truth. Our thoughts create the reality here. If we didn't have any thoughts, we wouldn't see anything in front of us. In fact, we collectively decide to see things. That's why we all know there's a Great Wall of China. We all know that Mission's in Australia. We all know that Lori's in Canada, and I'm here. We just agreed upon that. Everything else, you get to make the decision on.
Okay, so Jackie Lane added, in my shamanic studies, they talk about heavy and light energy. Absolutely. Heavy energy can be transmuted to lighter energy. Absolutely. Energy can't be created nor destroyed, but it can be transferred to another. Have we heard the term that I used to hate years ago? You've got to raise your vibration. I used to say, what the heck does that mean? Now I know what it means, right? You can raise darker, say you're depressed, say you're very, very sad about something, right? That's a very low vibrational state of energy. Can you change that and transmute it? Absolutely. Have a good friend over that you know that loves you. Have put on a movie that makes you laugh. Get out in nature. And your mood may feel like it's shifted. You feel better where you have actually raised your energetic vibration. Would you agree, Dave, or no?
Oh, no, I absolutely agree. Grab Carrie. Hi, Carrie Crawford. Grab Carrie Crawford for me. She's right down to the bottom.
Okay, hang on. I'm going down. Okay, there we go.
Hi, Carrie. I had just mentioned something slightly like that. No belief has an effect or can affect without first assigning an energy.
I love that.
That's the same. You said it. That's like I say about the evil. Everything's neutral until you give it the definition, and that's very true. And that's just how the world is. It's just how. Well, that's just not the world. That's how the physical.
Yeah, but some people may not agree with that or subscribe to that, and that is okay. But
you don't have to subscribe to that. It's a universal law, but you can ignore universal laws because, like we said, you have free will, so you can ignore it. I mean, you can ignore gravity if you wanted to, but don't jump off anything.
Well, how do you know? If you've never been taught there was gravity, there are tribes that have had no human intervention, and I've seen clips of them where they are able to levitate. Because nobody's told them they couldn't. Maybe they had to be taught. If they had to be whatever. Sounds crazy, but it exists, right? And I also believe as human beings, once upon a time ago, no, we didn't use language. We were quite capable of telepathy and telekinesis and many, many things. I don't think it was this show, Dave. I think it was on the Angel Rock. I did a show on my own December 30th, and it was Shannon, she's not here tonight, but Shannon was sharing, and it wasn't my suggestion, it's a friend of mine, Augie Nost, and he said, if you want to practice telepathy, next time you're in line at the store or on queue, depending on where you live, and you're bored, stare at the person in front of you at the nape of your neck, right about here, and keep thinking and focusing, turn around. Turn around. And I told people it probably won't work at first. Shannon says she's been practicing and it works all the time, and she gets such a giggle because the person turns around like, did you just say something? It works. Mm-hmm.
You can say, I've done it. I've done a thing of kind of like that, but know what I do? I'll say, my name's Dave, nice to meet you, behind them. Wait a little while, they might turn around and just start talking to you like, oh, long line, isn't it? Because you just introduced themselves, they no longer feel like a stranger, and they don't even know why they did it. It's really cool. I'm gonna quick. I heard a crack.
Yeah, you go ahead. I got your message. Yeah, go ahead. So TikTok, sorry, not TikTok. It looks like Instagram cut out on us. So hopefully people there wasn't too many. Sometimes we get a ton, sometimes we don't on TikTok. So I'll go through your comments. You guys have got great comments here. We do have some spooky videos. I picked two decide. So Cody, you said yeah, like since a month ago, I live in a place with 33 as the address, and it feels like I keep thinking about the number. Well, this is something that I believe, I'm sure David believes in it too. He will back me up. My rule of thumb is when something shows up in my field, whether it's my vision, my experience, whatever it may be, in a very, very short period of time, and it keeps showing up. Like somebody had mentioned to me something about this death orchid or something. Never heard of it before. All of a sudden it started showing up. It wasn't because my phone heard it. It was in the oddest of places. Haven't had a chance to look it up, but I marked that put it on my proverbial back shelf, as I called it, to investigate what does that mean? Why does that keep suddenly showing up now? For you with the number 33, I feel very strongly that there's probably a message for you in that. And that's why you keep feeling so attached to it in the way that it feels like you just keep thinking about it. Did you want to add anything, Dave?
No, I agree with that. I heard. My kitty's knocked. I put this plastic plant on my table and I had it under like this big giant knitted doily. And I took the doily off because I kept pushing it off. Well, they figured out a way.
Who was the
culprit? Pushed it off anyway. Yeah. Pom.
Okay, I knew it was going to be one of them. I was thinking you were going to say it was Angel. Poor Angel.
Angel normally would be the one doing it, but Pom takes his big old butt and just spreads on the table and he knocks it off.
I like what Carrie Crawford said too. She said, I believe evil is just a lower frequency, and I'm going to add a state of mind and perception.
It is. Right. It's really funny though how people think, and I'm not saying there's a right and a wrong what I'm going to say, but like the word poltergeist, like in German, it literally means noisy spirit, which is what it is. But we can't assign the meaning though that a poltergeist is evil if we assign that meaning. But then I've met people and said my drawers in my kitchen opened and closed. It was a poltergeist. I'm like, well, what did they do? They just opened and closed my drawers. Well, what if it was your grandma? It's just an poltergeist. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Again, I like to use analogies, and I say to people, what if you had the unfortunate experience of passing away very quickly and you didn't realize you had passed away, yet you're walking down the street trying to talk to people. Nobody sees you. Nobody hears you. You go back to your house and these strange people move in your house.
Yeah.
And then you start trying to tell them like, hey, get the heck out of my house. The phone's not working. What the heck's going on? I can't call the police. But then when they start renovating and ripping the house apart, what would you do to get their attention? Does that make you evil in spirit form, not realizing that maybe you have passed? No.
Yeah. It's really hard. It's really hard to define evil. Evil's going to be different for everybody. Like that person forgot to put my milk in the bag and I drove all the way home. He's evil. No, he's not. He forgot to put your milk in the bag.
I have been guilty of saying when a person is evil, when they have done a horrible thing to another innocent human being or animal, that is my definition and perception of evil. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I will assign the word evil to anybody who harms an animal, human being, old person. I will say you are evil.
Like I said, an innocent human being or animal, to me, that is evil. Now, again, maybe to somebody else it wouldn't be, but I don't know too many people that wouldn't agree. That's what I would call evil. But there's reasons for it too. And then you get into the bigger picture and the whole bit, but at the surface, that is what I define as evil.
Yeah. To me, anything that does something to intentionally cause harm is evil.
To somebody innocent. Not that we should play vigilante or anything like that, but especially somebody that is completely innocent that nobody deserves anything, but especially somebody that had nothing to do with the person that created that act of evil. That breaks my heart.
What would you consider an evil genius if somebody used that word?
Well, it's somebody that uses great intelligence to create things that don't benefit humanity. How about that?
See, that's exactly how I think of it too. If somebody says evil genius, it's kind of cute, but only because I've seen it in cartoons and they're like evil genius. Ooh. But that's how I would define it. An evil genius is somebody who is using their intelligence to harm people.
Mm-hmm. Sherry said my son was murdered, and I'm so terribly, terribly sorry for you, Sherry. And we send you much love, big hugs, and much healing. Definitely. Cody said in Australian Aborigine culture, the men always do the cutting, I guess. I'm not quite sure. I might have missed something on that.
Let me go. Don't have to.
I like this from Petite Lion, and I've seen Petite Lion when we've done live on TikTok before and stuff. So I'm glad they hopped over here with you, Dave. They say, when I was a kid, I used to think I put thoughts in people's heads, and if I concentrate, they would always do what I was thinking. So can I or can I not put thoughts in people's heads? I'm going to say, yeah, you probably can.
I think you can't
but
make
people
anybody
have free will too.
Yeah. You can't make anybody do anything they weren't willing to do already. So I learned that because
that's why I said the free will.
There's a lot of people that I know who do hypnosis, and I'm that guy. I fall under like that, and I go super duper deep. We didn't know that, so I started doing hypnosis shows when I was in a couple of them, and I was the guy they couldn't get to come out right away. So after the show, they'd have to come down and bring me back out. And I remember one show. It was at an amusement park, and I was in the audience, and I went under, and it was funny because she said certain words, and but 10 of us in this huge auditorium would stand up and scream bloody murder whenever this word was said. And it's funny that you're very aware when you are hypnotized. It is not like you're asleep. You're just aware. You're just taking the suggestion.
You just said something that my friend's husband does, past life regressions and future life regressions. He said exactly what you just said, including that nobody can make somebody do something unwillingly unless they were already open to it already.
Yeah. So that's how I feel about all that stuff. It is. It's got to be. You've got to take it. So I would never worried about that. That's all I was talking about. I mean, does that work with ghosts and spirits too? Can they make you do something unless you would do it already? Because that was always my beef with like the churches sometimes, where they say this person's possessed and hurting somebody. And I thought, well, if they're possessed, are they only acting that way because it's something they would have done? Because there's only room for one. Because the soul doesn't go in you. I mean, you're in the soul. We're the focus of the soul.
But I think there's such a thing as a parasite too, right?
I guess, yeah.
I would look at I'm going to say evil or dark energy source like that. I look at it as almost being parasitic. Now, do we be open and agree to having parasites? No. But they need a host to live off, and that's the way I look at that kind of energy.
And I know there's a thing that because I studied this a long time because of a past life that I kept remembering about the church doing exorcisms, and not all the time, but there are plenty of times where they did an exorcism. This is way back, way back, because that person they were perceiving as evil, but actually what they had was they had an emotional problem, but they said they were possessed instead. So very terrible things were done to people that they didn't have a diagnosis for.
I understand that, but
nowadays it's different.
No, nowadays, no, but that's the way I look at something evil, including, especially if it doesn't come from this dimension, does it have to follow the laws of the universe that are assigned to this dimension, right? So I look at it as something parasitic that is taking advantage, again, of something innocent. I don't think people ever, there might be some, but people that have experienced this, I have found that nobody was looking for this. Nobody wanted this. Some did, and a little bit of knowledge is dangerous, including playing in an arena that you know nothing about, right? Because you can open doorways. But that's the way I look at it, is something parasitic that needs another energy source to feed off, because it'll feed off negative energy, fear, sadness, depression, sickness. All those lower energy forms to me are food to something parasitic and dark and low energy like that. And you know what? I wanted to say something to Cody too. Cody, and then I'll read Connie's question in a second. Cody, you had said something to the effect that that's not true. And that's okay. That's why we have this show. Dave and I sometimes don't disagree on air, but you know what? It opens a discussion. It opens some food for thought. And then if you don't agree, that's okay. Or if it doesn't resonate, and you know what, feel free to share your thoughts as long as they're respectful and kind.
And actually, I have to say, I do, with this other comment, Cody, evil has to be genius because it's insidious.
I agree.
I kind of agree on that. There's a little bit different, but I understand where you're coming from with that.
I agree. But I wanted to tell him that because we have a few new people here.
Yes.
And that's why we started this show for people. It's our anniversary show, so maybe we should remind some that are new here. David and I talked about starting a show, and we get asked a lot of questions and what our thoughts are. And we thought, why not put a show together where people could have a safe arena to ask them, and sometimes agree, sometimes not agree, learn from one another. And we've always told you guys, we are not experts. What we share with you is what we've received from Spirit and what we know within our own lives and what we've experienced. I don't know if you want to add anything, Dave, but
no, that's absolutely true. You guys are always you guys will laugh. Sometimes me and Lorilei really totally disagree, but we don't mind.
Yep,
it's what we do. That's, you know what, we're never going to get down to the truth unless we ask questions.
And when we do disagree, we're not hanging on to it. No. We're having a disagreement. And I respect that maybe David thinks one way and I think another way. And that's okay. Same as if somebody in the audience feels differently, because I also think we can learn from one another. I don't think the same things or believe the same things even 5 years
ago. I've had some of my beliefs totally change throughout the years. I believed one thing 10 years ago, and now I'm like, I dropped that belief. Contessa Martins, just as much as...
That's why I highlighted it. I've been trying to get to it. Feel free to read it, Dave.
Okay, so Connie Martin says, just as much as there is good in the world, there is also a lot of evil being done to people and animals. It is a balance. And that's what the world is about, is balance. You need we live...
And it's what you are looking for, because if you were looking for evil, if you're looking for what you might call bad people or whatever, or the glass is always half empty, the universe will cooperate and present exactly what you are looking for. It will.
Yeah, it is. We live in a polarized place. It has to be. You can't know hot without cold. You can't know anger without happy. You can't know fear without love. You got to have these things.
And I call it Earth School because we're here to learn. I say, you know what? I truly believe this, what I received from Spirit. There is a lineup of souls to come here. And the reason why is this is one of the most difficult places to reincarnate into. Most of us come in, I was just going to add, most of us come in with spiritual amnesia. We come into these dense, heavy, fragile bodies. And it is a hard place to be, but there's a lot of space to learn and grow and evolve as a soul. Go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
Oh, Justin. Bye, Justin. You're very welcome for the conversation.
Thank you for
joining us. No. It all comes down to point of view, perception, what your belief systems is, what you've learned, and what you have not learned. That's all it is. That's all it is. But that's why we have this show. You guys get to pick your adventure. I mean, that's the cool thing about physical life. It is a choose your own adventure.
Thanks, Michelle. Everybody's wishing us happy anniversary. Congratulations.
Cthulhu, though, asked the question.
Okay. I didn't know if you wanted to go there. We got enough time.
That's okay, because I can't do a lot on it, but I'll tell you. Okay, so guys, what do you think of Satan and the Buddhist counterpart of Mara? I think they're important for the culture. I think it is, because there is a lesson within it with Mara and the Buddhists. I think because every religion or everything like that has some kind of hero and enemy, or hero and what's the word, villain. everything has that. So I don't really have anything on that, and I don't study tons of Buddhism, although I respect a lot of it. As far as Satan goes, I mean, that's a story in the book. You can call it whatever you want to. I just don't have a belief in it, but that doesn't mean it's not true. It's just, I think what you might be calling Satan is probably something different from what I see. Does that make sense?
It does. And what I'm going to add, and again, I am not well versed in Buddhism. I know a bit. I love what I have seen of the religion, but I can tell you that just as there is 7 levels supposedly of angels, there are 7 levels supposedly of demons, and whatever you want to call it, okay? But where I'm going with this is every single religion, every single history around the world, and they're all called something different, they will speak of a being in the way of Satan, in the way it could be Mara in the Buddhism. They talk of angels. They may not call them angels in other cultures. So to me, there was some sort of energy source, and there is, I believe, that depending on where you live and what your belief system is throughout the annals of time, people have talked about this. So there's something to it.
Yeah,
but I don't really have an opinion one way or the other. Like I said,
it's hard to make one.
it's semantics with the fact that
we said, and that's not a cop, and we're not copying out when we say that, guys. We do have our beliefs, but when it does come down to it, it's kind of like angels. Angels, people see them different, and some people call Lucifer, that used to be an angel that's beautiful and came to earth. That's the story behind it. Now I know that there are angels that are energies that are like right, and they're like closest to the source. That's why they're called angels. They're messengers. But there's also extraterrestrial angels. There are ET angels. There are
then ascended masters.
And then there's archetypes, and a lot of the ascended masters are actually archetypes. And I think as human beings, and me and Laura, at least sometimes when you see people, and not saying you guys are new, but when they're really new to spirituality, they have certain beliefs that Lorilei and I used to have as well. Mm-hmm. But as you go up, they change. So I always remember that our beliefs can change. They can change.
I always say the more I open the door to the paranormal, and the conversation we're having is the paranormal, because it's not usually something you could talk to anybody about anywhere. A lot of people would be open to it. I always say you're sitting in a circle of people and someone starts to talk a little bit about something spooky. Someone adds a little bit more. And before you know it, the door is kicked open and 90% of people have had strange experiences. But this is still the paranormal, not normal conversation. The more I open this door, the more infinitely, enormously, massively huge that is versus what I used to believe was just everyday real life.
Yeah.
I'll be learning every day, and I still won't have all the answers till I go back home myself.
Yeah, that's I would tell people that's the nice thing about when you go back home, you do remember everything. Mm-hmm. And then you're more of you, so you remember your lives and everything else too.
Mm-hmm. So Petite Lion says have to go to an appointment. Happy anniversary, you two.
Thank you. I think I'll see you. I think you have an appointment with me Saturday. I think Saturday. So I'll see you Saturday.
Well, they're adding much love and blessings to you all. We appreciate it. Cody also says,
thank you, Cody.
Hmm?
I said, thank you, Cody. Yeah.
Thank you. He says, great show. Thanks for having me. I'll subscribe and be back. And we'd love to have you back. That's why we always say to people at the beginning of the show, it's a little bit of housekeeping. But if you can't see us, you can't join the conversation. And you guys, we don't brag about how many people watch, but you wouldn't believe how many people watch around the world. But 80% are audio. And we love having new listeners. We love having people join the conversation. So please come and join us.
And to the new ones that are coming in, listen, you can throw if we don't answer a question or see it, sometimes it's because we don't know it and we won't. Lorilei and I will
flying by. Hi, Tina Gambo. I see you on TikTok.
Lorilei and I we pride ourselves on one thing. We're not going to make it up. If we don't have it, we don't have it.
And
So,
we will, no, but we'll tell you, like, remember with the Appalachians and about you guys were talking about the haints and stuff. Dave and I didn't know what that was. So we
no,
told
and it
you.
was great. So we went and looked it up.
We looked it up. We came back next week and we talked all about it.
Well,
So
we're still here. You guys don't have to take off. We got a
yeah, you guys,
minutes.
we still got another at least 15 minutes, you guys. We're not leaving. Oh, Connie just added. She said, so exciting. The Facebook page is over 300 followers now.
Okay.
Yes, we're excited too. I think it's at 383 actually, I saw today.
I was going to say, when you said 800 before, I'm like, oh, I didn't even know.
No, that's your YouTube.
If anybody, do me a favor, you guys. If anybody is watching, go follow our 2 YouTube channels. I'm trying to get to I got to get to 1,000 so I can get monetization. But
just so you guys know, I'm sorry, Dave, finish that thought.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I was going to say, and then I can do a lot more on that.
Well, I will tell you guys, I don't promote my YouTube channel. It's usually a backup for the shows under the live tab. But if you go under the video tab and you scroll towards the bottom, there are some of my older shows. We lost a lot of our video shows. The network did lose their first YouTube channel. So that's why we're always so careful on here not to get a strike, right? Yeah. But if you scroll down to the bottom of my videos on my YouTube channel, there are teaching videos in there. It's how to do grounding and gridding, how to create a love shield, why the power of music and gratitude are so important, how to do a 1-card angel card reading. I show you what my angel board is. So and there's also one more thing I do want to add, Dave. A friend of mine too that I've had on here, and they'll probably be on in the spring, is Leanne Clark and Debbie A. Anderson. Incredible psychics, mediums, healers, and they work very closely with them. Debbie has channeled 8 solfeggio tones from spirit, from her group that she calls the Center of A and guides and what have you. You are free to use that. It's pinned at the top under the video tab, and it will bring great healing. And I'm not saying it's going to cure somebody, but it's been channeled. And we haven't been able to find people with enough singing bowls yet to create it with a singing bowl. So a friend of hers, Claudio, created it electronically, and you plug it in quietly. And believe me, that's what it's out there for. So if you want to take advantage of that, please do.
And I'm going to tell you this, that I would say that I'm going to peg that, and that is like legitimate. Like Lori said, it might not help, but it is legitimate, because here's why. I promise you, if our guides, God, or somebody came down to Lorilei or I and said, could you give this to humanity? We would not put a price on it. We would say, of course. No. We would say, absolutely. Here you go. So remember that. I was going to say something and I couldn't. Oh my God, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. If you guys want some more, like she said, to go in the backlogs, if you want to go back in time a little bit, and you can see here Lorilei on it. Lorilei was my very first guest when I did this podcast called Mystic Stew. Yeah. And we talked about UFOs. I don't do the podcast anymore. They're pre-recorded. They run anywhere from 15 minutes to 40 minutes, and you can just listen to them. And it's called Mystic Stew. You can find it on iHeartRadio. You can find it on Anchor. You can have a headliner on Apple iTunes. Please go look at that. Go listen to mine and Lorilei's, because I did listen to a little bit the other day and I was laughing. I'm like, wow, we're really smart. Because we're talking about, it's deep, but it's fun. It's you'll see it. We're talking about UFOs, and I can't remember why we were talking about it.
No, but you and I have been on each other's podcast quite a while, a few times. And so that was the other reason why we started the show. Now, Connie asked a good question. What frequency is the best to listen to raise your vibration? I have an answer. I don't know if you want me to answer it.
Well, go ahead, answer. What's your answer?
So first of all, it depends on what you are needing. Do you need spiritual healing? Do your chakras need rebalancing? Is there physical pain or physical area of your body? The reason why I say that, okay, if you really think that frequencies might help, and there is a frequency for everything. If you were looking for how to connect with my spirit guides, how to be better, you name it, you can find it on YouTube, okay? And they're usually free. But better yet, you don't have to listen to anything. Some of the ways to raise your vibration. Everybody has a movie that we laugh at, and it's funny. Bring a little bit of the outdoors in every day. Open your windows. I can tell you it's been almost 40 below here where I am. It's been bitter. I still have been bundled up. I look like an idiot. I've got on my Yeti furry baby blue jammies and this red coat, and I'm bundled up with a blanket. I still sit outside to meditate, to absorb energy, to absorb the sun, to talk to the animals, hug a tree. Get out in nature, spend some time with friends and good people, clear out clutter. You want to move the vibration, change the energy, you clap your hands, even if you don't have bells or anything. It's getting that energy moving, practicing gratitude, being around people that don't drain you, that uplift you. All those work beautifully. Do you want to add anything?
And like the God frequency that they talk about, listen, if you want to get in the God frequency, I do sitting in the power every day. Sitting in the power is something that mediums do. And it's not a meditation per se. You have to be aware during it, but you don't have any communication with the spirit world, but that's where you go and you expand yourself to. You don't need to listen to anything for that. It's that and the God frequency. It's very deep stillness, if that makes sense. When you can get to that point that literally you're really not really thinking, which trust me is really difficult, but you can get there. But that's the God frequency. Also the Schumann resonance, and I looked that up for you guys. The Schumann resonance, which is the natural earth frequency, is 7.83 Hz. My favorite, I'm going to give you this one. The 432 Hz, I love that one. I do. It tingles me.
Hello.
So, yeah, but it doesn't mean, it's whatever works for you. It really is.
But if you don't know, right, it's important to feel what that feels like. The other thing Spirit just gave me while David was talking, we can all use healing. And it doesn't have to be physical. It can be past trauma. It can be spiritual. It can be anything like that. If you know that you're not happy with the way life is going, right, and we say something's got to give, start with yourself. Start small. What can I fix? What can I work on? Right? And even being here tonight, yes, we've got Miss Stephen Nicole, the little brat. She's been my little cuddle bug the last week.
Oh, okay. Can I answer that?
Question. I have an answer for it. Do you want to go first? Or you want me?
Yeah. It doesn't matter. Katsun says,
I'm going to say absolutely 100%. Yes. Sound and frequency can affect you, and you may
not concentrating on it. Yes,
but don't live in fear about that.
Yeah, don't live in fear. Did you know sound and frequency is affecting you every time you go to the grocery store? The music that is played in the grocery store is supposed to, it's certain frequencies to make you buy stuff. That's been around forever, and a lot of people don't understand that. Certain songs and everything are there for a reason. So it can. Is the 432 music real?
Yes.
No, it is. But when the musicians say it's hype, I understand what they're talking about. Not everybody who puts out a video and says it's 432 is actually 432. If you actually hear the 432 and you can stay with it, it is different. Now, the musicians who may have said that might not know anything about meditation. Because to them, they're literally listening to the musical notes. So if that person doesn't have anything, they're going to just hear the note. But I like it if I actually hear the 432 singing bowls. A correctly tuned singing bowl for me, really, I can feel it down my spine and up my chest. I have really tuned.
No, I'm looking for it. I have a throat chakra, and then I have a beautiful selenite one up in my closet. I haven't unpacked yet. Don't know what frequency, but I use this depending on what Spirit gives me with readings or before I go live. See the sounds, how clear they are? This is meant to help with the throat chakra. Oh, David, that's beautiful. You never you just had an orb go by your head when you pulled that up.
Did I? I might. It might be dust too. I'm not sure.
It wasn't dust. I would have seen dust everywhere. It was a little white.
I just made a video on TikTok a couple days ago, and I went viral. And how many people said, "Look at all the orbs while you're talking." And that one I understand because it was a very passionate video.
Yeah.
This is a root chakra.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the root chakra one, and I don't know if it'll play well on here, but this one's hard to. to play. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that's ooh.
I have a big white selenite one, and I just thought of it when we started talking about this because I had it packed away. I've been here 5 years. The next couple days in my new place, love it, and you know, it's been packed away. I need to pull it out. So soon you say, but yes, there are apps that convert normal music into 432 hertz.
I know what they're saying though. A lot of people will come out and think. I mean, there's something to the sounds. I'm going to say that. I don't care what anybody says. Sounds.
I use my tuning fork sometimes too.
And tuning forks are really good. I don't have one of those. I need to get one of those. But you know what's funny? A person gifted me that one because they knew at the time. My big chakra that I love the most, that I play with a lot, is my solar plexus and my throat chakra because of the way that I read when I do mediumship readings. But for some reason, they got me a grounding one, which is the person who got me the grounding one was somebody who totally needed grounding. I felt like, oh, you need to keep it.
Wow. Another topic for another discussion.
It's a whole nother
2 hours of my week. We are already out of time, Dave.
We are. Oh my gosh. By the way, we will. Okay, well, if you'd like to get a hold of me or get a reading, the only place to do that is through my website, theywhispertome.com, or even just want to find out more about me. You can follow me on TikTok. I'm going to say right now at Medium David Hanzel. We do have our group, The Thing at the Foot of the Bed with Lorilei Potvin and David Neil Hanzel on Facebook. Please feel free to join that group. We would love to have you. And when things calm down for us, we're going to go live and do some readings in there. Also, I am now going to be on, I'm on Substack, and I'm doing a lot of literary stuff on there and writings. I'm putting some of my writings from my magazines about spirit and water and hauntings and all this other stuff that I wrote years ago. And I'm putting a lot of instruction and stuff about dealing with certain things and manifesting and all that fun stuff. So please join me on Substack. And that one is just David Hanzel. That's it. And right now it's free. So.
Yep. And Kasoon, you know what? It's the middle of the night over in Sri Lanka, and we are early morning, depending how you look at it. We appreciate you being here. When you get here, whenever something happens for anyone, it's the right time. And the beautiful thing is there's always a replay. We were talking about that at the beginning. There's always a replay on YouTube, Facebook, all the platforms we're on, so you can always listen or watch anytime. Now, you guys, if you ever want to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me on facebook.com/Angel Rock. Once I have this course, and Leanne and I are working on it, that was the original idea years ago. And when we were talking about this, you guys are going to love her. We're working on it together. We're hoping maybe in April that I will have a domain name website, including I will have a little subsection with all my resin and things like that. Yes, Connie, we definitely can have a part 2. Whatever you guys want, we do this show for you.
Absolutely.
So right now, facebook.com/Angel Rock. You guys also can get a hold of me on any social media platform. I am on Substack, not active on there yet, but I'm on there too. I have 2 groups on Facebook, Paranormal University for all things spooky. And we didn't get to the spooky stuff, but we'll save it for next.
We'll do it. Yeah.
And then we took a break from some spiritual stuff before Christmas with the Halloween, but we talk about what you guys want to talk about. So also I have a group for spiritual stuff called the Angel Rocker Tribe on Facebook, so feel free to join that. Monday night, I had the name. It's a new guest. I know I'm very excited. Well, I'm always excited about my guests, but on Monday night, give me one sec. While we're waiting for that to load, if you guys enjoyed what you were watching and listening, you got to stay tuned for the second night of the Outer Realm with the amazing Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano coming up right after that. I should say. Okay, Monday, January 27th, I have Donna Massey coming on. Please forgive me. I forget what their book is about, but it was fascinating. Gavin Davies, my publisher person, he sends me all these wonderful guests. It's going to be a good show, so I hope you guys can join me. We'll be live 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We love you guys. Stay spooky. We're glad we're back. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And we're going to try it again. We're going to try to say our tagline at the end. And if we match it, well, we're going to do free readings on the show.
Well, this is for people new. This is me and Dave. One of these days, we're going to be able to say this at the exact same time. I don't know why we started it, but it's fun. And we end the show.
That's fun. Okay, so let's try it. 1, 2, 3. What's at the foot of your bed?
I hit the wrong button. I wasn't even watching. I'm sorry, guys. We love you. Stay tuned for Michelle and Amelia right after this. And we'll see you next week. Same time, same space, everybody. Love ya. Talk to you soon.
Don't be scared of monsters.